What is up, y'all? You're probably wondering why you're seeing me in live action and not my adorable little avatar here, and that is because, look, we all know what's coming. Everybody who is in the education system knows what is coming. It is becoming August. That means I'm a senior. I won't have time to edit my videos as much as I used to, so in order to make it easier on myself, I'm going to be doing live action. Also, just because this video was inspired by Troublesome Junction's Milk Tank episode about Nia and Rebecca, I figured, why not invoke a similar, aura, because, he always has his videos live action, and so do I. And, y'all, I know y'all have probably forgotten about this Blue Mountain mystery video that I was gonna do, but do not worry, it's still in the making. I've had to re-record this just because, look, it's a big video to edit, so I think I might be redoing it in this video style, where I'm live action. I don't need to worry about, editing too much. I can just put the clips in and then pop back to me talking like this. It's gonna be much easier on me, and hopefully y'all don't really mind the change. Because, I know y'all like the way that my videos were, presented kind of uniquely, but, yo, senior year's gonna be on my ass. Please. Okay, that's all. Let's get to the video now. So I watched Troublesome Junction's Milk Tank episode about Nia and Rebecca and how to fix them. But I felt like his video focused a bit too much on how to give Edward and Henry good send-offs in order to make Nia and Rebecca seem like less troublesome characters to deal with. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I would fix Nia and Rebecca with Edward and Henry generally out of the picture, because I feel like Edward and Henry took up a little bit too much space in a video about Nia and Rebecca. By the way, a little disclaimer, I didn't dislike Troublesome Junction's video. I actually really liked his ideas for Edward and Henry, but I feel like if you name a video how to fix Nia and Rebecca, Edward and Henry shouldn't really take up most of your conversation. That's really it. I really liked the video, but this is just my opinion, my thoughts, because that video actually inspired me to make this, because I didn't actually really think about Nia and Rebecca that much, but that video really got me to think about it. So yeah, now we're here. So I watched Bubble the movie and I didn't like it, but I did like Nia. And then I watched Confusion Without Delay, and the less I talk about that episode, the better, because I hated it, and I hated Rebecca equally. Oh my god, that episode's just a fucking mess. That is a mess. But alright, first off, let's talk about how we should characterize Nia and Rebecca. So first off, we're gonna talk about Nia. So what do I like about Nia? Alright, well, first of all, what did I like about Nia? Well, I like how she and the engines that she talked to in Africa actually, felt like people that I would personally know, because in real life, because, at least for the Africa sections, because I don't really know about other cultures, this is, exactly how it be sometimes. I was shocked that Bubble was able to, make Nia actually seem really in her culture, and that's what I appreciated about it. But that's one of the only good things that it did, because bro, for how good she was in Bubble, she was trash in the show. But no, we're talking about what I like right now. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised for how they were able to capture how it is to speak, act, talk, and joke around with your friends, and I actually really like that. And it's how it is with your family and friends and others that you tend to know. I also liked how mysterious Nia was, and if she had a sense of agency in the movie, when she was talking to her friend on the railway when they were going to go to Brazil, how she was having a conversation with him, and Thomas was whining about needing to see that bitch ass Ace, and I like how her friend mentioned that her shed got destroyed, and how Nia's yeah, about that. He seemed happy that he thought Nia had a better place to stay, and I appreciated that foresight on Andrew Brenner's part. I really appreciated that. Also, sorry if you see me looking down. I have this stuff on a script on my phone. That's usually how I read this. So if you see me looking down sometimes at my notes, that's how it is. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, I like how Nia didn't really have a shed or a home to go back to. I like how she saw Thomas as an escape from that, and not only as a boon, but she then learned to see him as more as a friend. That's what I appreciated him. Which makes Thomas's betrayal of her make me wanna slam Thomas into the dirt. But you know, that's probably what the movie wants you to do. Well, not actually. Like, it doesn't want to incite violence, but it probably does not want you to think that Thomas is a good person for his actions. So, yeah, and that's it. That's really all I liked about Nia, and now it's time to go about how I would fix her. Okay, alright, y'all, hear me out. So, I think that Bubba, the movie, it should have been about Nia. Alright, so think about it. Okay, so, I think that Thomas should have been, like, still in the movie, of course, his plot was still happening, but it was going to get equal footing. Like, this is her introduction to the show after all, so I think we should use it to its full potential. Now, Thomas episodes have never really been far from shifting the focus away from Thomas and the main group to introduce new characters, such as episodes like Donald and Douglas, with the brake van, and such as, you know, Oliver. Like, it didn't really care about, like, shifting the focus away from these guys. And, like, Diesel and Doug, I made a video all about that. Yeah. And, of course, we have Hero of the Rail, so CGI isn't, like, afraid to do that either. It's not afraid to introduce, like, characters with the movies, like Hero. It's not afraid to introduce characters like Luke. It's really not afraid to do that, so why not just do it like this? Okay, so, first off, we have the beginning scene of the movie would be Nia and her friends. We probably need to, like, create more renders for, you know, African engines. We need, they're hanging out, doing their work, and you can tell they are having a good time. They're chatting and they're doing a lot like that, like, you know, Nia and her friend when they were going to Brazil. Well, he wasn't going to Brazil, but you know what I mean. And you could tell that they're close. And then they go back to their sheds and they see it's demolished. Like, there's a construction site. They're gonna demolish the sheds, so all the railway engines, they're afraid. They're like, oh no, we don't want to get scrapped. But Nia and the group, like, they help encourage hope in each other that they're not going to get scrapped. They're going to be hired by other railways and they're going to continue working. And they are. Like, it's working. Everybody is hype and everyone's going to be working at their other railways, except for Nia. Rip in peace. Nia does not get to work on the other railway. She is not hired. She is going to be sent for scrap because no one is, you know, taking her. And everyone is worried about her because they don't want her to get scrapped. And so they tell her, they're the ones that inspire this idea in her to escape, to just run, to go far away from where her original shed was so she can avoid getting scrapped. So she's going all around the huge continent of Africa to avoid this fate of hers. So Nia is going to be constantly going all around the continent of Africa to avoid any scrap. She's constantly going to do work, and she's always going to choose work or find work that requires 2 or more engines, so she can always have backup just in case someone comes looking for her. So she can always have that sense of security. So it's not just her running around, she always has somebody to have her back just in case. And then there's gonna be the fateful day where she meets Thomas. He's lost. He's not supposed to be here in Africa. He followed Ace from Sodor after being made fun of by Gordon. That he can't go all around the world and that Sodor is his world. So she's going to meet Thomas and she sees Thomas and she's like, that's my ticket out of here. That is my ticket out of here. That is my ticket not to get scrapped. And in this version, Thomas is going to be acknowledged as one of the 8 famous engines from Sodor. He's going to be acknowledged as a member of the steam team, and Nia is going to recognize him. She's going to be like, oh my god, that is Thomas the tank engine. He is from the island of Sodor, where steam engines are still very much in service and they're not being scrapped for the future generations. So she knows that if she can find a way back to Sodor with Thomas, she is going to be completely fine. She's gonna be safe, and her friends are gonna be happy that she's safe. That's gonna be what's happening there. I'm 50-50 on having the betrayal scene just because I'm not a big fan of that trope. But I think that if we do have a scene where Thomas realizes that he did wrong by, you know, betraying Nia and following Ace over her, and then meeting her again, and then learning her backstory and why she's doing all she does, he would learn who to really trust. And it would give us a lot more scenes with Thomas being the kind and helpful engine that Mattel likes to push him as. So not only do we have Nia, a good engine that gets diversity and she's got a good plot, we also got Thomas getting some much needed development, some actual good development after the raw deal he got for Journey Beyond, because you don't want me to talk about Journey Beyond Soda. You don't want me to do that. Oh my god. It's gonna be another roast. Oh goodness me. Oh please. I wish that video banged better. But you know what? No, I can't wish for everything. I can't wish for everything. So Nia returns alongside Thomas, and I do think that while everyone would be overjoyed that Thomas is back, I also do think that they would be also very upset that he pulled this running away shit again. So Sir Topham Hatt would be like, bro, why did you think I gave you permission to go around the world when I was just like saying that your idea was like fine? I never said you should go. And so Sir Topham Hatt would send Thomas away from his branch line to think about what he's done. He's like, Thomas, you fool! What is wrong with you? Why would you do that? So then now that leaves Thomas's branch line needing to be operated by another engine, and here comes Nia. The engines and Sir Topham Hatt, after learning about Nia's origins and why she's here, would think that it's perfect for her to work on Thomas's branch line while he, works on redeeming himself and learning how not to be fucking stupid and running off. So she would not only get to know the railway, but she would learn about people and the engines and Thomas's friends on his branch line, get more acquainted with the island, and she would just be a lot more eased in than I think how she was in the actual show. So that's how that would be. So that's gonna go. And that's just because, everybody thinks that Nia deserves another chance, because no one likes scrapping. So yeah, Nia gets her chance on Sodor, and just because I know people are going to be wondering, since I brought up the friends at the beginning, don't worry, they're going to be dealt with. So Nia's friends are going to be dealt with how she would meet them along the way in Africa. Oh my god. Oh my god? Okay, so you guys can't hear it, but the thunder is rumbling. There is thunder outside. It's about to rain. Whew. Okay, good thing I'm getting this over with now. So, Nia's friends are going to be dealt with. While Nia and Thomas are going around Africa, she's going to come across them at the different railways that they either drop or get different goods trucks from. They're gonna meet up. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Nia, yeah, I knew we were gonna see each other again. Like, are you working here now? And Nia's just like, quiet. Because we're going to establish at the beginning that Nia is a very crafty thinker. Like, she plans, she's very methodological in her thinking, and she's very sarcastic, and she knows what she's gonna do. She knows what she's planning. She knows what she's gonna do. So then her friends are gonna, since they know her and we don't, it's gonna keep us in that mystery. And her friends are gonna be like, oh, they're gonna look at Thomas because they know who he is. He's the famous engine. And they're gonna be like, oh shit, good luck with that, Nia. And they're gonna say what they think is gonna be their final goodbye, of course. Unless in the later Bubba seasons we have, Thomas go to Africa for a whole season, like how the Unlucky Tugs was thinking about it, and Thomas brings Nia along for the ride just for some fun, and Nia can see her friends again. I thought that would be pretty nice, just because, they exist. And I'm actually thinking about having another scene near the end where Thomas goes back to Africa to catch the ship to Sodor. Even though he could do that from China, I think it would be better for him to do it from Africa, just so Nia can have a final goodbye with her friends. And they're like, even if you're gonna live on Sodor, you're going to be safe. We know you're going to be safe, so we have nothing to worry about. We're going to miss you, but we're glad that you're going to have a new, better beginning, just like the rest of us. So they're going to be happy. They're going to miss her. She's going to be away from her friends. But you know what? They're still going to have chances to meet up in the future, as I said, with the future Bubba seasons, should that happen. That's how I would do it, at least. So, yeah. So, now that we have the movie over with, how is Nia going to be characterized just on Sodor, just throughout the series, throughout the remainder of the show? Like, how would she be characterized? Well, as I said, she would be kind, sarcastic, crafty, cheery, and very keen. A very methodological and fun puzzle solver. She's really good, and we can give her like a useful engine trait about being good with the troublesome trucks. Because the trucks in Africa, they weren't troublesome. They love to sing, they love to stay in order, and the Sodor trucks also love to sing, but the engines really don't pay them any mind. So I think that Nia could, teach them, African songs, and they can be happy with her, and they can just sing, and they can be the least troublesome truck group there, because, Nia's there, she knows how to deal with this. She makes moves, she's making moves, and that's how she is on the island of Sodor. And of course, she has those episodes where she gets in over her head because, she did this daring escape. She made it off of Africa, so she's going to have she's going to be a bit conceited, but of course she's going to have times to bring her back down to earth on the level of the other engines. Kind of similar to what happened with Oliver during, his arc when he was first introduced to the series. And I do have an episode idea about how this would go, but the thing is, it's like, I'm really, my ideas sound good whenever I talk about them, right? I'm good at fixing ideas, but when it comes to actually writing them down, putting them down on paper, concrete, and when it comes to coming up with completely new episodes, I'm sorry to say I'm not really that good at writing it. So if anyone watches this and they want to make an episode based on the idea, then I'm so down for that. You can do that, because right now I don't think I have the proper skill set to write a Bubba style episode, because I'm used to the classics and I'm not really that used to writing with Bubba or the characters in their CGI portrayals. Not really. The only one I'm used to is Henry, and that's only because I like Henry, he's cool. But yeah, everybody else, I don't know. But yeah, I do have an episode idea for her, but I don't know if I'd actually write it down because I'm not that good at it. However, I think we've spent enough time talking about Nia, and I think it's time to go to Mrs. Rebecca and see what she's all about. Nothing, I don't like anything about Rebecca. Can we just go to the next fucking section? I fucking hate this bitch, stupid ass fucking bitch. I'm just fucking... Nah, I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. Okay, I do like how Rebecca has that infectious, cheery nature to her, despite her being a big tender engine like Gordon. You don't expect them to be you don't expect them to be that upbeat or that cheery, and I think it does offer a nice contrast to the other tender engine big tender engine characters that we have gotten. She's just so damn happy all the time, and it's just I like that attitude. I like that a female character can have that attitude. It's great. And I also like how she has stints of self-consciousness to her. She worries that she's nothing special compared to the other engines. I like that part about her. And I think in my version, I'll make her especially, feel inferior compared to Nia, because she didn't perform an escape. She didn't perform much of this stuff. All she did was come to Sodor and just fuck up her entire first day. So yeah, now it's time to talk about how we would fix Rebecca and how we would make her into a three-dimensional character that we like to see on the screen. So how do we fix Rebecca? There's really not as much to talk about with Rebecca. She doesn't really get a whole movie to explain herself or explain how she is, so we're gonna be here for a short amount of time than we were with Nia, but we're still gonna spend quite a bit of time with Rebecca, because, equal opportunities here on this channel. And all I can really say is that we should give her a better introductory episode, maybe even episodes. So, Confusion Without Delay. It fucking sucks. I'm gonna be blunt. It's horrible. I hate it. I probably hate it more than Forever and Ever, because, dude, at least Nia's, interesting. There is nothing interesting about the conflict in Confusion Without Delay. At least Forever and Ever offers something to salvage. Forever and Ever is just a pain in the ass. But this is not a Forever and Ever or Confusion Without Delay hate video. I could very well make that in 5 minutes after I'm done recording this one. But let's talk about how we can fix Rebecca being introduced. So Since I didn't mention this before, but yeah, if I were to do this, I would go with Troublesome Junction's idea of Edward and Henry not being removed at Tidmouth Sheds. They would still be at Tidmouth Sheds, and Nia and Rebecca would just utilize the sheds next to Tidmouth that's still in talking distance. That's what they would do. They would introduce the one in Harvey to the Rescue. I believe that's what the episode was called. That's how it would go. So all we need to do is introduce Rebecca as an honest-to-goodness girl character. That's all we need to do. So I'll keep the general idea of Confusion Without Delay, just because new characters being introduced to Thomas with their first day being the absolute worst is pretty common, I believe. So I think it's useful. Like, she fucks everything up on her first day. That's a very common trope. And of course she's causing confusion everywhere, and she's trying to be fast and impressive, but really only filling everybody up with like doubt. They're like, dude, you can't be really useful if this is what you're doing on a railway. And as I said, Henry and Edward aren't leaving. There's an episode slot open forever and ever. Technically doesn't even happen in my version because they didn't leave. So we would use that episode slot to create an entirely new episode that's focused explicitly on Rebecca. And so Confusion Without Delay would go where Forever and Ever goes, and then Confusion Without Delay would be replaced with this new episode that I like to call Really Useful Rebecca. This is the one thing that I've been able to come up with that I actually have faith in it working. So y'all are witnessing something. Y'all are witnessing it first right now. So, Really Useful Rebecca. Instead of having the happy ending that Confusion Without Delay tries to tell you, we get Rebecca getting like really told off by Sir Topham Hatt that she is a mess and she's been causing a lot of trouble, probably the most he's seen in years. And to make matters worse, she's not really showing that she can be a good express engine. Like, she's not really a good like passenger engine or whatever. So then Gordon's like side-eyeing her, and he's like, I know damn well they are not making me try and be with you and tell you what to do. So yeah, Gordon's like, there ain't no fucking way you're making me do this. And all the other engines on Tidmouth are like, why is she, she's acting a little sussy. I don't like that. She's acting kind of weird. So they're looking at her, and they're starting to take her usefulness for doubt. They're doubting her, and Rebecca does not like that. So now she is desperate to prove herself to these other engines that are looking at her like she's not that useful. So Rebecca has a lapse in judgment, as the engines trying to prove themselves usually do, and she decides to take a line of trucks to Vickerstown to show how useful she is. But she crashes along the way because of how troublesome the trucks are, and the engine that comes across to help her is Henry. So Henry is helping Rebecca back from her accident, and Rebecca's just talking about all her insecurities and how she's having trouble fitting in and how she doesn't think that she amounts to the good things that every other engine has done. And Henry relates to her, talking about her tough times, and he empathizes, and he starts telling her about his tough times that he used to have on the island of Sodor with his special coal, and, you know, the tunnel incident, the sad story of Henry. He talks about how a lesson that he had to learn to be a better engine, to be more useful, was to learn how to be a team player and not be so selfish, with how he shut himself up in the tunnel, because I'm gonna be honest, Rebecca wanting to be the best and wanting to be seen as great by the other engines is inherently a selfish goal. It's not a bad goal, but it is selfish, and the reason she's causing so much trouble is because she's so attached to this goal. She's not thinking about the grand scheme of things. She's not thinking about the bigger picture and every engine here. And Henry would also tell her that he also needed to learn that he has to be okay with being himself, because that would be a reference to the special coal. And that would lead Rebecca to be like, okay, I just need to take it slow, I'll ease into my work, I'll get used to everything, I don't need to be the best immediately, I can just be myself, I can ask questions, I don't need to act like I'm somebody that I'm not. She can be someone that everyone else can get to know. She can get to know everyone else, and she can grow to become good friends with them. That's what she can do. So, how would she act on an outside basis? Like, after her introduction, how would she act? Well, I think she would act the same she does in the show. She's just cheery, happy, a bit self-conscious. I think pairing her up with more grumpy and cynical characters would be, like, hilarious. Like, that'd be so funny. Like, I feel like they didn't do enough with Gordon and Rebecca interacting. They did not do enough with it. Like, we needed to have more moments where it's just, like, Gordon just being done with Rebecca's shit. Like, I feel like that would have been so funny. And I feel like we should also up the ante on Rebecca's femininity, because, like, I know a lot of people consider Rebecca to be, like, a tomboyish girl, and I'm like, bitch, no, I don't like that shit. No, we're removing that tomboy nature. Rebecca, no, we are making her feminine. We are making her real feminine. We are leaning into that. We are leaning into her femininity, because I think that Mattel's need to break that. Mattel being like, we need to break female stereotypes by making them tomboys. Like what they did with Rosie and how they turned her from pink to red. I was like, bro, what? Like, that was obnoxious, and it's inherently damaging to young girls, in my opinion, because, like, bro, there's nothing wrong with being ultra feminine, there's nothing wrong with being pink, there is nothing wrong with, leaning into your girlish hobbies. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I think all of this would make Rebecca a pretty capable but insecure and prone to wanting to fit in and follow others instead of doing her own thing. But she'll also learn that, come on, it's just better to be yourself, better to be happy, be the happy-go-lucky girl that everybody likes. But not in the sense of how she's so perfect. It's just like, she's just good and easy to get along with. And it's not how it was the way that the show originally portrayed it as. It's just, oh, Rebecca is perfection. It's just, Rebecca started off rocky, but now that we've gotten to know her, we really like her, and that's how it is. And I hope that, you know, the audience would feel the same way, because, you know, if she doesn't, then if they don't, then that's a bit sad. But yeah, that's how I would fix Rebecca. Now it's time for the conclusion. There's really no conclusion. All I can say is, man, maybe Nia and Rebecca would have been better female characters if we just got Davey Moore to come back and he fucking wrote their episodes like how he did for Daisy. They should have just been treated like Daisy. Like, her episodes are god tier. So yeah, this video was a long one. Sorry that there's not many visual cues. I'm sorry that it's just been me talking to the camera in this way. I hope that it was still organized and that it was still a video that you guys enjoyed. But I need to do videos more like this just so I have more time to do my regular schoolwork. Because school's starting soon. As I said, I won't have the amount of time to do those, like, bigger videos where I always have my character and I always have the visuals be very connected to what I'm saying. So hopefully this was still fine. And how would you guys deal with Nia and Rebecca and the hot mess that they both are? Like, how would you guys deal with it? Like, comment down below, talk about how you would fix it, and like, let's have a conversation. So without further ado, like, I'll see y'all later for next video. Goodbye, y'all.